there's always a bull market somewhere. Your portfolio is probably down deep in red. You're holding on to altcoins you should have sold months ago, and you feel left behind while stocks, gold, silver are having their own bull run. You're hoping for at least to go break even. You're hoping for that last pump up. My name is Diego Sonderberg. I teach individuals how to think, act, and invest like institutions. And in this video, I will teach you a principle institutions use and go over that. I will map out how to read the regimes, risk on, risk off. I will give you 3 rules to rotate with size within those regimes. And at the end, I'll give you a real example from the last breakdown. I'm here right now in Miami at the office. As you can see in the back, you can see the city of Miami. I'm surrounded by animals. There's 2 alligators here in the lake. This used to be actually the Burger King headquarters here in Florida, and they don't use it anymore. So there's just other companies in here and me. So the first principle we have is money rotation. Money rotates all the time. Capital moves depending on the regime change, and that is why you shouldn't be married to one asset class. That's why you shouldn't be a Bitcoiner like it is Michael Saylor. You shouldn't be a gold bug like it is Peter Schiff. You shouldn't bet on one asset class alone. Being married, being loyal will burn your portfolio because you won't be able to move like water, like Bruce Lee says, right? Move like water, be flexible and adapt. You won't be able to do that if you're married to an asset, if you're loyal to that community, whatever it is. You can still be part of the community and sell. You're not a bad person for that. Your job is to follow the leader, not the narrative. Then we have the map. So you have a map, imagine a map with 2 regimes, the risk-off regime and the risk-on regime. The risk-off is when liquidity is tight, volatility is up. That's usually when crypto underperforms, and also tech stocks usually. And strength usually hides in defensive trends. That's when you rotate out of crypto, out of risk-on assets into more risk-off assets. It could also be cash, not just gold and silver or certain stocks. And then you have the other regime, the risk-on. We had this for a while. We had a very big risk-on regime in 2020, 2021. That's when we had the alt seasons and everything going on. And that is when liquidity loosens, volatility is down, crypto becomes the leader again, and high beta plays pay. That's when you want to be in crypto. And for the last few years, that was a good play for crypto. And crypto will definitely have its time again, where buying crypto will be the better move. And it has been for the last few years, but for now, it's commodities again. Now I'll give you 3 rules. So rule number 1 is no break-even trading. Very common mindset. You hope to go break even with your portfolio. You hope for that last leg up, last move up, to go at least break even with your portfolio, to sell everything at that point because you're sick of it. And that's not a good idea, because while you hope for that, other assets are outperforming your asset class. So your capital is locked. What you should do instead is redeploy into the leader. Right? Sell, accept the fact that it's a bad investment, sell, and redeploy into the leader. Then rule number 2 is to cut laggards and protect the winners. Cut fast and buy fast into not too fast, but buy the winners. So do not sell strength to fund weakness, right? And the leaders get trimmed into strength. And do that fast. Cut fast, but don't buy too fast. Layer in slowly. Don't layer in too fast. Don't buy just overnight. And because someone said something, some analysts. But if one of your asset classes, be crypto, gold, whatever, is lagging, you sell it. Then we have rule number 3. you re-enter only on confirmation. So do not try to front run the turn. Don't try to predict too much, and wait for the market to prove the flip. Look at higher highs in the market, look at relative strength improving, look at volatility cooling down, and then buy up on a confirmation, because there will always be a correction where you can buy on up on confirmation, and then you get basically the same move that other people got that got in early, if you do it right. So let's get to the example. Remember in October we had that breakdown. Most people held and hoped, right? They thought, okay, this is just some tariff news again by Trump. This is some liquidity grab by market makers. Me personally, we treated it as risk off. 2 months before, actually, we already talked about a cycle top in crypto at least, and that commodities will likely outperform and stock. I've shared a video on this. You can watch it. It should be in the months of July, August, and then another one in September, right before the crash. We reduced exposure, hedged, and shorted even Bitcoin. I shorted Bitcoin at an average price of 120,000. If you don't believe me, you can check on X, it's public, or you can check also on this YouTube channel. I shared it publicly. So the key point here is that you rotate into strength. You're not anti-crypto, you're just pro-allocation. You're pro getting more buying power, increasing your buying power. That's what you're pro of. You're not anti-crypto, you're pro-allocation. It's very unfortunate when I see traders, investors that have been in crypto, especially for 5 years and more even, and they're so stuck in their altcoins because they're emotionally invested in them, they're loyal to those communities. They think, well, since I bought it 5 years ago and invested all this time and sacrifice, I will hold it, even though it's a bad investment. Let go. Letting go is the best thing you can do. I've many of my clients that came to me in the last couple of months, they could let go, sold at the top, and were able to get into other asset classes and are now outperforming the market. So if you want the full institutional timing system that times the exact tops and bottoms with the institutional framework, you get the whole risk on and risk off switch playbook. I have a free training for you, free video. It's the first link below in the description. Get yourself the video and see you next time.